You are listening to the Retina UK Talking Tech Peer Support Group meeting recorded Thursday, 7th of September 2023.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to our Talking Tech group for Retina UK. Welcome, everyone. It's a lovely sunny evening, and tonight's discussion is all about AI. And when I say artificial intelligence, it's what we use in terms of artificial intelligence. You know, how do we integrate our lives as visually impaired individuals? What tech we use? You know, what tech would you like to use in the future? You know, what have you seen in the media? What have you seen or researched on Google? Have any questions regarding the AI that's used in today's technology? And I'm very pleased to welcome Tony and Graham from Sight and Sound to be able to answer questions in regards to AI related or technology that is in the Orcam and the Google glasses that have the Envision, where they can answer any questions you may have regarding that technology. So please fire questions away to them. They've come on tonight. And also, you know, how do you feel about artificial intelligence in general? Is it something you're skeptical of? You know, do you have any fears or worries about the future of AI? You know, is it something that you are welcoming, or is it something that you're not quite sure of? You know, do you trust AI? And I'm talking about technology that's not too distant away in regards to, you know, automated guides, Android guides, or, you know, autonomous vehicles, you know, even down to, you know, our assisted apps, you know, how we use things like Google Maps, you know, how well are they trusted? How good is the artificial intelligence in all of them? So it would just be nice for us to all just say and share our advice and what we feel the future holds for artificial intelligence. As I mentioned in our synopsis, the late Professor Hawkins said that artificial intelligence is either going to be a great thing for mankind or it's going to be the worst. It's nice to have your opinions, you know, about this amazing breakthrough that mankind are, but not that far away. So, has anybody got anything that they would like to share in terms of technology that's coming out that features artificial intelligence, or how would we like to start? Yeah.
I
So,
can say some. Sorry?
welcome. Hi. You got your hand up?
What, me?
Yeah. So, you're raising your hand?
Yes, I did. Sorry, I was. Yes, I was going to say. I love AI when it was in seeing AI. I've used that a heck of a lot. I'm just a bit worried that it'll go a bit too far with all the bots, and because I'm worried about if it's takes over and we're not going to have a human being, because I think it's limited in that way, where a human being you can rely on them more. And also, I'm not so keen on these driverless cars, because being a lady on my own and going out on an evening, I rely on a taxi driver to walk me into a venue safely at night.
It's a very good.
So,
very, very good point.
But I do love the things that I've got already that with seeing AI, and I've just actually got the beta thing of the Be My Eyes, and there was a warning on that saying that it's still in the stage of research, and that they found out the people that have been using it at the moment that the pictures, sometimes there's things, it's describing things that aren't actually in the pictures at the moment.
Yeah,
it's adding things in, which is a little bit worrying. But it's not released to everybody at the moment. It's just on iOS, and there's an email says, do you want to have a go? But I know some of my friends have had it a few weeks and they're loving it. But they say don't use it at all to, you know, cross roads and things like that, because it can sort of invent things.
Yeah, no, I know
Anyway,
that.
I'll leave it at that.
Thank you very much. So I know that the Seeing AI has actually got a new interface, and I think it's actually going through a beta at the moment. So I think it's a case of ways with certain AI apps. I think Scott Racine has got his hand up. Hi, Scott. Welcome back.
Yeah, hi, how's everyone tonight? Well, not everyone's good. So that's a kind of a long question for everyone to answer. I got mixed feelings on the AI. I have friends that are in the recording industry and talking and also government jobs. We're going to get to the point where robots are what are we going to do? Sit at home and just twiddle our thumbs? I've been in restaurants where a robot has served dinner. And I think we're losing a lot of the personality of the world by not being able to say hi to a young waiter or whatever. Now, I will tell you, on the other hand, my mixed feelings, I am beta testing the Be My Eyes, which I have used volunteers and love talking to people from around the world who have helped me in the kitchen and around my flat. But the beta Be My Eyes is absolutely fantastic. I was on the tube the other day and I was with my wife and I thought I was taking a selfie, but I had it tilted up a bit too far and it read me the Victoria Line map above my head on the wall of the tube, and it was bang on. Directional, everything was bang on. And as for adding things to the photos, I can attest to that. I think part of the problem is if something has been banned. Today, the young lady I was at the park with had a Julian Salon, what's his name? The wiki guy that's been arrested in the States, Julian Solange or Holange. His picture was on her bag. She had a free Julian picture and his headshot was there and everything else was bang on. The dress she was wearing, she had a ball cap on, the flowers in behind. But the Julian picture came out as a child's toy riding a motorcycle. And I can only suggest that the US, who is testing this, does not like Mr. Julian. I forget his last name all the time. And so they're adding stuff that is not regulated. They also are blurring the photos. My face and the young lady's that I was with face was blurred because it is in the beta testing stages. But other than that, even my front of my building, it gives reflections in the windows and is bang on. It's that in the large window behind you. Along with that, there is a reflection of a common area and a white van sitting out in the parking lot. And I asked the young woman I was with, I said, "Is that all perfect?" And she says, "Absolutely." So it's not 100%, but it's pretty darn good. So
with anything that we talk about this evening, guys, if anyone has got any links to any apps, software, technology, AI news, if you can pop it into the chat or ping me an email after tonight's meeting, then I will add this along with the recording to the follow-up email. And the more information that we can share them with each other, the more that we can actually share to those that unfortunately won't be able to make it tonight, hence the recording. So thanks very much, Scott.
I'll send the two sites. One is VisLens, which is a lens microwave and my oven dials, because I used to call Soundscape, which is kind of, or not Soundscape, Be My Eyes, to have someone help me, which is kind of sad in the sense I don't get to talk to someone, so I probably still do that. But VisLens will take a photo of your appliance, memorize it, and then when you point your camera at it, it'll tell you the dial, the temperature setting you put it at, and actually read it. And the other one is the new Soundscape, which is out as well. I forget the name of that, but I'll send the link to that.
You're a star. Thanks very much. So we've got Gordon with his hands up, and we've also got Ian. Ian's got his hand up as well. So we'll start with Gordon. Thanks very much, guys.
Oh, hello. Yeah, follow up on some of the things that have been said. Um, the Be My AI, it really is fantastic. But as has been mentioned, it's not 100% reliable. In particular, it has problems reading text. The OCR is not perhaps as good as it can be. And they do say, they stress you should not use it to recognize medication. Now, because I was on the test program, I tried it anyway. I had some medication and I tried it, and I had two boxes, different strengths of the same medication. It identified one of them absolutely correctly. The other one, it told me that I had a box of paracetamol. It wasn't paracetamol. And it didn't matter what I did, this particular box, it told me it was paracetamol. Now, I knew it wasn't because I'd already double checked it with a sighted volunteer. But I don't know where it was getting the information from, but it clearly wasn't reading what was on the box. So it is a warning to be very careful at the moment with relying on the text that it's trying to read. But apparently they are hoping to be out of the beta phase within the next 2 months, and it will be generally available. So that's good news.
Can I ask a question, Mark?
Oh, we've got
just,
Ian.
Just
sorry,
regarding
Scott. We've got Ian.
just,
So we've got Ian next, and then we can come back to you, Scott.
Okay, sure. It's just regarding the medication. Yeah, it was just to clarify the medication, because it picks up everything around. Were you just looking at the one bottle or box?
Yep. Yes.
Yeah. Okay, there was nothing else around.
No,
mine picks
absolutely.
up. Okay. Okay,
no,
that's
that
all
was
I want.
part of the test. I made very sure that there was absolutely nothing next to it on the table, and
Okay, perfect.
It's still got it wrong. And I saw somebody else on Mastodon yesterday complaining that it had misread cooking instructions and given the wrong cooking time.
Yeah.
Consistently.
Perfect. Okay.
Consistently got it wrong. So it's one of these phantom things. But as I say, they're hoping to have things out in for public release within the next 2 months, which is absolutely fantastic. And you mentioned the new soundscape there. There are two things that to know about that. There's one called Voice Vista, which is
the one.
Yeah, which is pretty good. However, just last week, Soundscape was re-released. It's been taken over by the Scottish Tech Army. They've reproduced it. It's got the same name. So you'd need to, if you still have Soundscape on your phone, you'd need to delete it and go to the App Store again, look for Soundscape by Scottish Tech Army. It's exactly the same. Same name, same features, same everything. Yeah. They basically taken the whole lot.
Yeah, my old one started working again. So, and it did say the Scottish. And so I didn't even have to delete it. Yeah, right. It just took over mine. So, which is good. I don't have to erase anything.
I had to delete mine. I couldn't get it to work. But it's brilliant. It's back the way. You have to reset all your markers and so on. But it's great that it's back. Anyway, that's enough for me. Thank you.
Oh no, thanks very much. I will we'll add that to the follow-up email as well. Soundscape, Scottish. Oh, and we've got Ian next. Hi, Ian.
Hi everyone. Yeah, it's Ian here. Hello. I'm just following up what you guys were saying. I'm not being a iPhone user. I think it's being my eyes on Android as well. I don't know whether it is, but
no, it's not.
Yeah.
We use Lookout by Google.
Yeah.
We've got Super Sense AI for the blind.
Yeah.
And we've got Sullivan AI for blind as well. We've got a few different types. I've got 4 on my phone.
Yeah.
And I bench test them all because they're all good at some things, counting currency or looking at currency, looking at labels. Where one might fall down, the other one might pick up. But it's good to have, more in the bank than less. So
yeah. So just to clarify with Be My Eyes, was that one where it did use human beings to recognize things, but they've now introduced a sort of AI version? Is that right?
Yes. Yeah.
So
they still have the 5 million volunteers that you can call. It's on when you bring it up, it brings up you have to be a beta tester, which you can apply for. And but it also says, I think it says call a volunteer. there's another button there on your phone that you can call a volunteer and actually speak to someone and use your camera for identifying colors of clothing, kitchen items, whatever my lost white cane.
Yes, it does.
Yeah.
So does it do anything sort of new, the new AI version? Does it do anything new compared to some of the other apps that have been out there that'll, say that's a smiling face and that's a red apple and things like that? So
it's much more detailed.
Right.
Yeah. You can also use it if you're on social media.
Yeah.
If somebody posts a photograph with no description, you can open the photograph, go into the share menu, and one of the options is recognize with or scan. Well, I can't remember what it says, but with Be My Eyes, and it gives incredibly detailed descriptions of photographs. Really tremendous descriptions.
Yeah,
absolutely phenomenal.
Detailed, and you can hit
fantastic.
There's a button too. It said add extra or more detail or something like that, and it'll go on.
You can ask it questions for it. For example, somebody posted a photograph. I had no idea what it was, and it turned out to be a poster for a Star Trek movie, and Star Wars. I beg your pardon. I had Luke Skywalker and Yoda and so on, and it gave very detailed descriptions of where they were standing, how they were looking at each other, and I was able to go and say what color of clothes are they wearing, and it told me. Brilliant.
It even told this completely blind gentleman, Canadian gentleman who was taking the photos, that would be me, to get my stupid finger off the lens. I cut off half the picture with it says, cannot see the bottom of the photo because you may have your finger on the lens, which I do on occasion. So that's how detailed it is. And Mark, it is coming to Android as well.
Oh, that's brilliant. Okay, we'll keep you updated.
I don't know the details as when, but my buddy who's an Android user said it is coming. He's waiting for it. So
excellent. We don't have any hands up at the moment, but does anyone have? We've got. Go on. So you're right. So
for the Be My Eyes, to reassure everybody, there's still all the other things you can, like I rang up at Microsoft, the helpline, and they remoted onto my PC. There's all those things still there, and there is actually the separate button to call the volunteer. But one of the things with the apps that I use a heck of a lot is on Seeing AI, the handwriting feature. I wish there would be more of that, because I find it brilliant for sometimes if text is just a bit fancy. Some of these things won't read it if it's just text. So if you go onto the handwriting, it's getting better and better at reading stuff.
It really is. And my friend sent me letters from her uncle from World War I. He was stationed in Canada and writing back home. And of course, there was no phones and typewriters on the field back then. And it deciphered his letters, his handwriting from way back when, these old letters. So the handwriting, and the more you read the letters, the better the AI gets at recognizing what's a T or what's an S. So it misses some, but you can piece
it's not brilliant, but
together.
You can work it out.
Old recipes from my grandmother, they're all handwritten. And I can't see them anymore, but now I can at least, half cup of this and half and make it out. So it's brilliant.
That is pretty incredible, because I've always wondered whether the OCR technology, and it is kind of basic, that could decipher handwriting. It's one of the issues that I had with magnifiers, and they distinguish handwriting well enough to have the audio on, so you kind of have to zoom in and try and decipher someone's poor handwriting if it's on a form or something. But good to know that the AI is getting better. We've got
Ian, hasn't he?
Oh, Ian. Hi, Ian. You've got your hand up.
Just to sort of that's really interesting about the handwriting. I'm doing some research where I've just trying to read some very cryptic old letters, so that might try something like that. But also I've used apps that do to OCR things, or various ones of it. But I didn't realize until recently that the just the standard camera app on Samsung now, if you take a picture that has text in it, you can then select the text, and that was quite handy, you know. So wow, that's quite so anything. I don't know whether, presumably anything I've ever taken might be able to be accessed now. You know, that you can just press any text in a photo and select it on the phone. That's quite handy.
Yeah, you can do screenshots, and it'll on the Apple.
Yeah.
And so the Samsung, my daughter and my wife say the Samsung cameras even clearer than the Apple cameras. They're trying to catch up, but yeah, you can pretty much take a picture of anything now. Now I will say, can't read my sister-in-law's writing. She's a principal of a school. How anyone ever understands it? So there are some notes that are handwritten that even sighted people can't can't pick up. So maybe someday, you know, the recognition will be there.
We've had a couple of questions come through on the comments spot. So Gain has asked, not sure if she's referring to Seeing AI or Be My Eyes. Does this work on other apps? No, WhatsApp.
Is the interface between the WhatsApp and Be My Eyes explaining photographs? Does it work across that interface to WhatsApp?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, if somebody sends you a photograph on WhatsApp, you open the photograph and you do the same thing. You double tap and hold. It brings up the share menu, and you just say recognize that with Be My Eyes or scan it with Be My Eyes, and it'll do it. I did it just yesterday. My wife sent me. She's on holiday. She sent me a photograph of her hotel, and I got a very, very detailed description. It's great.
Yeah. And you can in WhatsApp set your settings, because sometimes I miss it. If you pick up a photo on WhatsApp, you can automatically share it right to your library, and go into your library and pick it up there. But as a gentleman, sorry, I forget your name.
That's Gordon.
Just said Gordon, you can do it right in WhatsApp.
You just do it straight from WhatsApp. Yeah, it's once you've done it a couple of times, it's very easy.
Yeah, it's very easy. I just like my photos all to go in, because if someone's sending me a photo, it's generally, as your wife has done, a picture that you probably want to keep in your photo library. So I just direct mine all there, which you can set up in your WhatsApp. But either way is quite easy once you've done it a couple times.
Were you referring to WhatsApp on Android or iPhone?
No, iPhone.
On the iPhone, yeah. Because for people that struggle with WhatsApp I think it's available on the iPhone, but it's definitely available on the Android, because I've tried it. It's Louis Voice as well. That's usually very good at deciphering and displaying and describing photographs as well. You know, and that will actually do it off the bat. You ask Louis Voice to describe a photograph that's that's attached to the message, and it will actually describe it.
What was that? Louis Voice?
Oh, Louis Voice, yeah, Louie Voice. It's an Indian
Voice Vista.
Yeah, it's a really good one. It can actually be used as full-on voice assistant, so you can actually have it take over. I've tried to have it take over Google Assistant. It didn't work well enough to sort of ask Google questions, like, what's the weather like, or, call so-and-so. It's very good. You shake your phone and it wakes Louis Voice up, and then you can just say what app do you want to open, and you say WhatsApp, and then it will start actually reading through latest messages. You could actually you can have it read your messages down from top to bottom. Or if you're in a chat, for example, a group chat, and you always miss the very start of the chat, you can actually have it read reverse. So it will read the latest one and it will go upwards. So you never miss any conversations if you're in like WhatsApp groups and stuff. So that's another one, and we'll actually put that in the. It's always good to have these trials, because they're always sending me betas of Louis Voice to trial out, and I've actually spoken to the developer about this app, and he's always looking for feedback. If anyone does want to try it, see whether it's available on iPhone as well, and give us your feedback so I can pass it on. It'd be great.
Just installing it now. It's called Louis Voice Control. Yeah.
Okay.
Mark, does it read everything, or there a punctuation, or does it just read your messages?
I think
Who
it
it's
can
from
actually
in the message.
do everything.
Yeah.
It does do. They're actually developing it to integrate more with things like, I know it can read Gmail. I know it can read WhatsApp. I think they're kind of trying to do it for more third-party apps. I always struggled with my emails being read out to me. So now I've actually, because I'm an Android user, I've set Bixby up. So, but yeah, I think they're adding more and more third-party apps like Facebook, Twitter. But obviously, when it comes to beta testing, it just takes time. So, have a play, see where they're at the moment. We've been talking about the AI that's been featured in a lot of apps, and I just wondered if anyone had any questions for either Graham or Tony in regards to the Orcam and the InVision glasses, which I know have a very sophisticated AI. The newer model Orcams, they're very, very intuitive. And I think they kind of use the same OCR technology as well that you find in some of these apps. If anyone's got any questions related to that technology, or you want to learn more about, how they work, then please feel free to ping a question over.
Yeah, Paul's got his hand up.
Oh, Paul, you've got your hand up, Paul, on the phone. Oh, you're muted?
No, it's not.
Oh, okay. We'll come back to Paul.
Yeah.
Oh, Gaynor, you got your hand up.
Just a question on the Orcam.
Yeah.
My son had an Orcam right at the beginning, and my daughter, but they've now, obviously technology has improved. Is there any sort of upgrade on the Orcam or exchange and buy and exchange for a new model, or what's happening there? Does anybody know?
Yeah, can I jump in here then, being as it's one of our products? No, there is no exchange, but yes, it has. Tell me, how old did you say your daughter's one was?
How old is yours, Ben? I don't know. It must be at least 6-7 years old now.
Has it got a cable? Is it wired?
Yes, it has a cable.
Yeah, so now they've reduced the size of it. It still attaches to the arm of a pair of spectacles. And it runs on the as everything does these days, taps and swipes. But yeah, much smaller, and AI is built into that to give descriptions and things like that. So upgraded completely. That's the only one. Graham, have you got an Orcam at hand?
I do not, unfortunately.
Okay, bear with me. Can you carry on from where I just left off about the Orcam and what the updates are since? Now this is an old one. You probably never saw that one. It's you've got in effect a package strapped to your belt and it's got a cable. I'll be back in 2 ticks.
So the Orcam now it's almost a different device than what you have at the moment. As Tony says, is it the Orcam My or the Read? I'm guessing it's the one that fits on the spectacles, as Tony said.
It was bought by Access to Work because my son works in Marks and Spencer's, my daughter works in Sainsbury's. They both had them. They're both not using them now, and it seems such a waste. But they are old models.
They won't even get the updates to make them more up to date anyway, and the newer versions or the newer software in it isn't compatible with the old ones. You would have to get the newer ones if you wanted to use it. But it is a very, very different device. It's like it's a walking, well, not walking, it doesn't have legs, but you're the one with legs, but it's having AI on the side of your face, essentially. I mean, for anyone that has an Alexa device, it's a bit like carrying one of them around with you that's got a camera and takes pictures and interacts with things in your surroundings. And it's just getting better and better. Same with the InVision glasses. They do very, very similar things. It's just different suppliers.
Much better, yeah. It seems such a shame, doesn't it? Because they cost so much. that they're now completely redundant. Yeah. Okay, that's all I need to know.
Especially the Orcam. The Orcam is incredibly expensive, but it is a bit easier to use. And it's funny, I was with the chap from Orcam just last week, and I'm seeing him again next Tuesday. And he was talking about the Be My Eyes service at the same time. And he was saying, because Orcam are he was telling me Orcam are just about to release a new update that is a bit more advanced in terms of scene description and doing what the Be My Eyes does. And then Be My Eyes released their beta version the exact same day. Like, that's a little bit better. And it's free, so it's going to push Orcam and Envision and other suppliers as well, just to make things even better.
Yeah. Okay, thank you very much.
Oh, you're welcome.
Maybe an old person might enjoy it that just wants to read, because I know one of my friends just got it for reading.
Yeah.
Because there was different version, and they probably wouldn't be going out as much and wouldn't be bothered with it being a bit bulky. Because I think the one that my friend Erica got, it fascinates me how you don't have to be connected to the internet, because he got it when he went on cruises, because he didn't have any smart devices, and he said it was great for reading things when he was in the cabin and stuff, and the menu.
That's one of the great advantages of the Orcam over other wearable devices, is it doesn't need an internet connection, and it will still perform. Yeah, just so great. I don't know whether you're familiar. There's the new. Can you let's? Yeah. You see that? That's the new Orcam. Tiny, attaches with magnets to the side of a pair of spectacles, and then it's just swipe and tap to let's do this. I'll tap it.
So for those that can see Tony's screen, actually he's holding it very close to the camera, so it looks really, really big.
Sorry,
it's about the size of your thumb.
Sorry about that. I'll tell you what I'll do. How about this? That'll give you some sort of scale.
There we go. That's better, Tony.
That's better. Okay, sit tight, Graham.
For those of us with no sight, can you give us the scale?
Yeah, bear with me a second.
It's about the size of your thumb.
Okay. Thank you.
Unless you've got really small thumbs or really huge thumbs, it's about the size of your thumb.
Just to clarify, yeah, you're right.
Or the whole thumb?
No, the whole thumb.
Okay.
The whole thumb. Of course, there is the other one, the handheld one, which is the Orcam Read. That's a bit bigger than my thumb. It's probably 2 thumbs. There are no fancy functions in this, like facial recognition. It will purely read text. Again, no internet needed, but that's quite useful as well.
It's worth noting that they're voice activated as well, so you don't actually have to use the swipes and the taps. You can, very much how you use an Alexa, for example, or a Google device, whatever. You can talk to it, and it will respond to your voice and do commands based on your voice as well.
And how much does the thumb weigh?
How much does it weigh? It's next to nothing.
Yeah, okay, so it's very light.
It is very light. In fact, a lot of people say that's got to be heavy on the side of your glasses, but it's not. It really is not.
Once you wear it on your glasses, you actually don't notice it's there. There's not. I mean, it does have additional weight, but it's so minute that you don't notice it.
Okay, that's perfect. Sorry, I didn't mean to overtake the other woman that was talking. I just wanted those questions answered for those of us that couldn't see the screen.
Yeah,
and because you can use it outside, I assume it's data you're using?
No, the Orcam doesn't use the internet at all.
We've got Paul that's got his hand up. Sorry, we've got Paul that's got his hand up. We can see whether he can reconnect to him. Paul, you got a question? Just need to unmute. *6. No. Okay, we'll come back to Paul again, but we've got Nash who's got their hand up as well. Have you got a question?
Hi, Mark. How are you? You okay?
Good. Thank you. Yourself?
Yeah, not too bad, Mark.
Good.
Too bad. Mark, I'm just trying the I've just got a photo on WhatsApp and I sent it across I pressed share media and it went to Be My Eyes, and it's saying something that I have to be invited. So it's not letting me get the photo described by Be My Eyes.
Are you a beta tester? Have you been accepted to?
No.
It's a beta test. Yeah, that's why you'll have to apply. Sorry, Mark.
That's all right. No, you've got the knowledge, Scott.
You have to apply. Go on to Be My Eyes.
Okay.
There's a spot, and I can't. Maybe Gordon knows where you can apply to be a beta tester. I applied, and it said you'll have to wait, and then 3 days later, I was accepted to be a beta tester because it's just they're testing.
You get an email, don't you?
Yeah, you get an email. Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to apply to be a beta tester. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
There should be the application.
Sorry, they apparently have 12,000 people on the waiting list at the moment.
There's how many?
12,000.
Oh, okay.
But I got in. They told that to me, but I got in 3 days.
Yeah,
I don't know.
They say they are getting through them quickly.
Yeah.
But as I say, the Mike Buckley, the CEO, was interviewed today and said that they hope that it will be available to everybody within 2 months.
And the seeing eye, obviously, is that different? That doesn't do the same thing.
No.
Okay, it's only Be My Eyes that's doing it.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Thank you so much. I'll register. Thanks.
No worries. Any other questions?
There's a question in the chat about the ORCAM.
Yeah, I've just seen that. You want to? Answer that?
Great. Oh, great. What's the question?
Paul's put a question in the meeting chat. Is Graham able to answer it? It's about the ORCAM.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can try to. So Paul has asked that. He's asked about the cost of the ORCAM compared to devices that are sold on late night shopping channels. That a fraction of the cost of the ORCAM. I'm afraid I don't know what these fraction of our cost of it devices are on this. I don't watch late night shopping channels, so I don't know what they are. Paul, do you have any other info of what they're called or what they do? Unless you know what they are, Tony.
Well, don't. there was a Chinese let's just say a Chinese knockoff of the ORCAM called Angel Eyes. It purported to do everything that ORCAM did and at a fraction of the cost, but it didn't. The OCR conversion was so inaccurate. The voice was, well, English-speaking Chinese. It was atrocious. We carried it for a very, very short period of time before ditching the idea. It just did not work. And I think that's what you find. It's going to be a fraction of the price for a reason. And generally the reason is the quality, the accuracy, and of course the support. You know, if you get a problem, you're going to phone your shopping channel and ask them to put it right. It's not going to happen, is it?
And especially with
rule of thumb is sorry.
No, sorry, I jumped in. Sorry, I was saying especially with the Angel Eyes, which is, as Tony was saying, is a Chinese copy. I don't like the word knockoff, but copy, I suppose. But I mean, it was wired, so it was attached to your phone. It only worked on a Google device.
Alexa, what time is it?
It heated up like you would not believe. It got really, really hot, and it was massive. It was bone conductive with a really big headset almost. So yes, it cost a quarter of what the ORCAM cost, but you were getting a quarter of the quality, if that.
Nash has got his hand up again. Sorry.
Yeah, Mark, I just wanted to know: is there any app that can recognize faces? Like if someone's walks in the room and they're silent, and someone's there, but you can like aim the phone at them or the camera, and it recognizes, it tells you who it is.
Yes.
Well, that's. I don't know whether Be My Eyes can do that, but the problem is that I've seen with facial recognition, you need to take a photograph of these people first,
right?
Then add a name to them. So when you store up all of these people in like a database, then that's when it can actually recognize someone's face. Pretty much similar when it can recognize your own face to unlock your screen, that type of thing on a phone. Does anyone else want to weigh in on this? Because I could be completely wrong.
Seeing AI has that, and Mark said it right. My wife likes to hide on me when she reads, and so I took a picture of her, 3 pictures, but the face has to be fairly centered. It would tell me she's 10.2 meters away, and her nickname was Mavis. So it'd say Mavis is 10.2 meters away. It's supposed to work in restaurants as well, but if your head is turned the wrong way, or the person it just takes a long time you can scan a room. If I don't pick up Mark's face that is in my database, or he turns the wrong way, you might sweep the room, he's there, but you won't know it because it's not going to, tell you. So the technology's there. It just it only works when the person's looking, in my perspective, when the person's looking pretty directly at you.
Right. So it's not as clear as yet. It's not.
No, and I don't know that it'll ever be. Like, there's 20 people in the chat tonight. If we're all in the same room and I swing my camera through everyone, like I said, if Mark has his back to me, unless I've never tried taking a picture of the back of someone, whether it would recognize the back of the head or not, whether you need it to do that. So,
quite honestly, it's easier just to ask who's there.
Yeah,
that's exactly it. Yeah.
I think, sorry, jump in. The important part is that it's facial recognition. So it's got to be looking for a face, generally full on. Although the Envision and the Orcam and probably the apps we're discussing will ask you to take, I think it's up to 5 photographs of varying angles to try and overcome that. But if the guy's got his back to you, or the woman's got back to you, you've got no chance.
So it's the seeing AI app to save the photo on, is it?
But there might be more. Orcan apparently, and the other one do it as well. Is that true?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
Thank
you. Also worth noting with the Orcam and the Envision, you can have it on a passive mode, and I can't remember, Tony, what's it called? Is it Explore or something like that? I can't remember the mode it's called.
Yeah, it's Explore.
But it basically it's passively on when you're wearing it, and anytime someone it recognises come into your field of view, it will tell you there's Graham, there's Tony or Susan or whoever it is. But you do have to have the faces stored. It won't recognise somebody. It doesn't have access to the CIA database or anything like that, so it doesn't know everyone's face. Yeah, you do have to have them saved as a contact. They say, well, not as a contact, but it's a similar situation. Because again, holding up your phone, if you're in the middle of a room, holding up your phone and scanning it around, might come across as a little bit passive aggressive.
Exactly.
Yeah. And like the gentleman said, just ask. I don't want to be in a restaurant.
We had a comment from Gordon. Has anyone tried an app called Call Annie? I don't know if that's very similar to Be My Eyes. Is that for the Android? Is that for the iPhone, or both?
I've got an iPhone. I don't know if it's on Android. No, it's very different. It's a Chat GPT interface, but instead of typing a question, if you have the Chat GPT app, you can go in and type a question and get an answer back, which may or may not be correct. But but Call Annie, you go in and there's a button saying call, and you actually get a spoken voice. It's an AI voice, sounds very friendly, very chatty, asks you questions, asks you how you are, and so on. But it gives you answers, and you talk to it, and it gives you the answers. Exactly the same answers as you would get if you typed into Chat GPT, interestingly.
But one of the guys on Outlookers has done it, called Dean. He put it in the tech group, and he gave the link to it. I haven't tried it out yet, but he said it was quite good.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, it's a different way of interfacing with Chat GPT. Some people don't, if you don't have a Bluetooth keyboard handy with your phone, and your dictation's maybe not up to scratch, it's a quicker way of interfacing with Chat GPT. It's interesting. But as I say, take your luck with the quality of the answers from ChatGPT.
Well, that's what I was going to say about Annie. You take your the answers are sometimes quite sarcastic or not quite what you're expecting. So
yeah, and can be completely inaccurate as well.
Yeah,
I once asked it for the relative positions of two cities in Italy, and I wasn't sure that it was right, so I asked her, "Are you sure about that?" And she corrected herself. She eventually gave me 4 completely different answers, and all 4 were incorrect.
Yeah.
So
goes to show that some AI does work and some AI doesn't. We've got Ian's got his hand up now. Ian, what's your question?
Well, it's just following on from I think what you were saying. I'll check out Annie, but one of the things I've been using a bit more recent, because obviously there's Google Assistant and there's Siri, but I've been coming around to Microsoft Bing recently more in terms of that it's doing things with ChatGPT and AI, and it's so I mean I'll try on my phone here to see if I can do it, but I've got like a little widget where you can actually verbally interact with it. So I'm just trying to think. I mean, I've used it for maybe not directly related to vision and mobility things, but I'm guessing it could because it's because the Microsoft version is connected to the internet, whereas the ChatGPT isn't, as far as I understand. So ChatGPT is a kind of closed model, whereas the Bing version can go out and do checks. I'll just see if it but it does a very satisfying HAL 9000 sort of interaction of talking to it. So so I think it's listening to me. All right, here we go. Is there an elevator at Baker Street Station? So it's thinking.
Searching for, is there an elevator at Baker Street Station? According to Wikipedia, the Baker Street Station has lifts and escalators that link the Metropolitan Line and the Bakerloo Line platforms by a new concourse excavated under the Metropolitan Line. However,
so it sort of
I hope this helps.
Yeah, it does things that it kind of gives you a slightly better answer, I found, than if you just ask the Google Assistant something. It often just says, I found this web page. Asks you to click on the web, so whereas the Bing thing actually gives you a useful answer then and there. So if you were out and about, it might give you a more useful, I'm not sure how good Siri it's got, but the Google Assistant, I'm sure it could do a lot of these sort of things, but it does tend to kind of, it'll give you a very simple answer, but otherwise it just says, oh, I've done a web search and here's some web pages.
Yes, so that's exactly what Siri does, and it's
right.
very annoying.
So Bing seems to be on that score doing quite well in terms of giving kind of AI, so I mean, that was just looking at Wikipedia and reading it out, but it's done things like, I the other day I sort of randomly wanted to know how big is Texas? How many UKs could you fit inside Texas? And I just asked it, and obviously that's probably not written down anywhere, but it worked it out and gave me, a paragraph answer of how the answer. So that was quite clever and impressive.
Right, just to let everyone know, it's 528. We're having such an amazing conversation regarding AI apps, and if everyone is happy for perhaps the next peer group for Talking Tech, which is going to be in November. Would we like to continue and have a bit of a part 2 session around AI? Because it seems like we've just literally just tapped the surface, and the hour's just flown by it. And I reckon there are a lot more apps, there's a lot more knowledge that we can share with each other. So When I send out the follow-up email with all the apps that we've spoken about tonight, for you guys to go away and try out, download, bench test, tell me what you think, and then we can kind of come back on the next one and talk about what we've all learned, and or if there is any other things that we haven't really touched on tonight in terms of AI, we can actually do a bespoke peer support group for Talking Tech, sometime in the future. So when I do send out the follow-up with the audio recording, if you guys can please the feedback. It's the only way that we can enhance and improve our peer support group network. It would be much appreciated. And just a couple of things from Retina UK in terms of what's coming up next. For those that have joined us that are in the Berkshire area, we have a Berkshire in-person peer group meeting on the 16th of September, and it's going to be to a steakhouse in Reading. So, if you can make that, please come along. We have what else we've got coming up? We've got so much coming up this month. We've got West Yorkshire. So if you're from the West Yorkshire area, please come and join us on the 19th, Tuesday the 19th, because we have got, if you're familiar with the blind poet Dave Steele, he's going to be talking about his works and his award-winning poems, books. He's an author, musician, and anyone can come to that if you're into your poetry. A national peer group is on the 26th of September, and we've got representative from the Talking News Federation, listener talking about talking newspapers. But if you want to come to that, you're more than welcome to join us. And if anyone wants to ask the expert, we have Sam Silver, that he's going to be hosting a webinar with my colleague on the Thursday, the 28th of September. If you've got any questions regarding RP or inheritance loss, then please come along and ask your questions to the expert about sight loss. We've got also, if anyone is from the Bristol or Bath or Wiltshire area, we are really delighted to be kicking off a brand new peer group in this area that is going to be on 14th of September. So, please come along, say hello to our brand new facilitator, Katrina, who will be very welcome to have you come along if you're in the area. And then please just keep checking our website and our local peer support group pages and our events to see what's coming up in person. So, has anyone got any final questions that they would like to throw to Graham or Tony that we're delighted to have join us this evening from Sight and Sound? Thank you very much, guys, for coming along and sharing your expertise about these amazing devices. Has anyone got any final questions before we say good evening?
Just one short one. It's Sue again. I've noticed when I'm sort of reading a document with my phone, it'll read it if it's upside down. When I'm sort of filing things away, it's only if I put it under my closed circuit television I realise it's upside down. Is there a way of it telling you that it's the right way up?
Not that I can think of. I mean,
very good question.
It is a good question, and it's all sort of been developed, bearing in mind that it might be a situation where you don't know what side the letter is upside down, so it will read it or anyway.
I realise that, yeah.
Yeah, but I understand.
I stapled things together and then put them under my closed circuit television, and I've turned them round, and it's just an irritating little thing.
Well, so that's why you've got a closed circuit television in it, so you can staple them the right way around.
Could they not code that? Could they not code that in that said it's reading the document upside down? Though, would that be a large move?
I have. I'm trying to think what it was that wouldn't read it. It would tell you your document's upside down, but generally they tend to go both ways.
I think if it's upside down, it should read it out in an Australian accent.
Yep, that's a good one.
Orcam won't read it. The Orcam AI won't read if it's upside down.
Oh, okay. There you go.
It'll tell you, but
It's called a smart reader that does tell you whether it's upside down, or even if the paper's turned round the wrong way as well, it will tell you.
Oh, okay.
So some devices
There
do
you
it.
Yeah.
Thank
Gentlemen,
you very,
sorry, Mark, one quick one.
I was just going to say thank you very much, guys. You know, it's a shame that we can't all evening, but if you guys, you know, want to continue this one in November, then more than happy to just do an AI part 2. I think we've a lot of stuff. I think there's so much more that we can talk about. But if anyone's got any other topics that they want, please give it to me in a follow-up email after this. You've all got my email address. It's mark.bax@retinauk.org.uk, or you can contact the events at retinauk.org.uk and post your feedback directly to that email address as well. So, but thank you very, very much, everyone, for joining us this evening. I think we've covered quite a lot of AI apps, and there will be a font of information that will be coming your way in our follow-up email, including the audio recording. So thank you so much for all your feedback, all your advice, your knowledge, and your experiences. And thanks again for coming along, Tony and Graham. It's been very, very much appreciated. So I hope you guys all have a lovely evening and enjoy the rest of your week and weekend. It's going to be another warm one. So please enjoy yourselves, and we'll see you next time at the next Retina UK Talking Tech Support Group meeting in November. From me and Caroline, good evening, and we'll see you soon.
Thanks.
Yeah, good evening, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
We hope you have enjoyed this recording. If you have any questions, queries, or wish to leave any feedback, then please leave it in the comment section below. Alternatively, you can send your inquiries to info@retinauk.org.uk. Contact us via the telephone on 01280 821 334 or call our helpline on 0300 111 4000, which is open Monday to Friday 9:30 AM to 9:30 PM. If you would like to know more about our local peer groups, when your next meeting will be held, or if you wish to get involved in creating your own group, or would like to know more about our services that Retina UK provides, then please visit our information and support page on our website www.retinauk.org.uk and navigate to our local peer group page. Thanks again for listening. We hope to see you again soon. Take care and bye for now.